Jesty Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
Ahead his 73rd birthday tomorrow, President Bola Tinubu has prayed for Nigeria's continuous prosperity and peace. Speaking to journalists after observing the Jumat prayers, President Tinubu thanked God for keeping him alive and encouraged Nigerians to embrace hard work.
Feel good, feel happy, and give thanks to Almighty Allah that has protected us so far and continue to answer our prayers, accept our ibadah. That is key and very important to all of us. A prayer for our country to stabilize, keep in peace, and safeguard our people, all the citizens. The word for all of this is hard work. You work harder, you pray harder. And that's the inspiration that I got from all of this. We thank God Almighty that at this stage, we are in it.
Business News is next with Theophilus Elama.
Well, Nifemi, thank you very much. Of course, let's go to some business news. Following the federal government's alleged refusal to continue the Naira for crude deal, experts have speculated that pump prices of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, may rise further in the coming days as the landing cost of imported PMS increased again. Professor Emeritus in Petroleum Economics at Emmanuel Egboga Foundation, Abuja, Professor Omomi Ledare, earlier today on our business flagship program highlighted the implications of this development on the economy.
The advantages or benefits of pricing the crude in a local currency take away the influence of the instability in the exchange rate in affecting and creating volatility in the price of the petroleum product. So we have to understand that if you are going to buy crude in dollars and then you are going to sell the petroleum products in dollars, when your local currency is Naira, which is what the consumers will pay for, then you are going to have a double whammy. Once the price of crude oil goes up, your price of petroleum product will naturally go up. Second, when the valued currency is affected, then the final product medium of exchange will also be affected, which will then create a double whammy. And that will lead to another negative consequences in the economy, and that's what we call inflation.
Businesses in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, have been urged to adopt renewable energy for a more sustainable future by harnessing abundant resources such as solar and wind energy. Businesses can cut costs, improve energy security, and contribute to a cleaner environment. This call comes as producers and manufacturers in the renewable energy sector continue to seek ways to make their products more affordable for businesses across various industries. Sunday Benibo reports.
For years, Nigeria has grappled with unreliable electricity, a challenge that has stunted economic growth and development. However, both local and global voices are advocating for a shift towards renewable energy sources for both households and businesses. Recognizing the urgent need for a cleaner, more sustainable energy future in Nigeria, industry leaders believe that now is the time for the country and its businesses to diversify their energy sources and reduce their carbon footprint.
The adoption of renewable energy today is no longer something that we can do or cannot do. It's something that we must embrace because our world today needs to enjoy clean, green energy that can be renewed.
Globally, there is a mandate that we should transition from the fossil fuel to renewables energy. So Nigeria is also following on this trend. So it is very important for us to champion this cause in Nigerian market.
Switching to renewable energy sources such as solar power wind energy, and rechargeable batteries, experts here say can significantly lower energy costs for commercial and industrial enterprises.
The government needs to remove tariff for anything renewables energy in terms of import duty. At the moment, there are government policies that renewable energy companies should not pay tax, but I think they are still paying. So if government can reduce or remove completely tax like what other developed countries are doing.
So if you check the cost of having renewable clean energy over time, you will see that the total cost of ownership is actually cheaper. It's just that you need a huge outlay to acquire it.
As businesses in the commercial and industrial sector increasingly adopt renewable energy, experts are sad that it will not only help reduce operational costs and improve sustainability, but it will also play a vital role in promoting both economic growth and environmental sustainability. Sunday Benibo, TVC News, Lagos.
Asian stocks lead today with heavy selling in South Korea and Japan, while safe haven gold was perched at a record high as latest tariff from U.S. President Donald Trump stoked investor worries of an all-time trade war. In Asia, Japan's Nikkei fell nearly 2%, led by sharp drops in Toyota and Honda, while South Korea's benchmark index shed 2%. European stock futures pointed lower, with an automaker-heavy Germany's DAX futures down 0.2%. U.S. futures were little changed. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell 0.6% as traders awaited clarity on Trump's tariff plans for China. President Trump sets to reduce tariffs on China to get a deal done with TikTok's Chinese parent ByteDance to sell the popular app. Crude oil prices retreated today amid tariff-related demand concerns, but headed for a third weekly gain on a tightening global supply outlook after the U.S. placed more pressure on Venezuelan and Iranian oil trade. U.S. West Texas Intermediate fell to $69.61 per barrel, with a downward review of 0.44%. Brent crude futures experienced a price decline of 0.45% to sell at $73.70 per barrel. Bonnie Light sells at $78.62 per barrel with a downward price margin of 2.84%. For the OPEC basket, dealers offer $75.96 per barrel with an uptick of 0.29%. Toyota Motors said its global production rose for the second consecutive month in February, driven by higher output and stronger sales in Japan after recovering from a certification scandal in its home market last year. The automotive global giant output increased 6% to 79,790 vehicles year-on-year, with domestic production up 16%, while other countries' growth was less than 1% last year. Toyota's production in North America declined by 1%, while car shipments from Japan to its largest market, the United States, also declined by 1%. The company's global revenue grew 6% in the reported month, supported by a 28% spike in domestic sales and a 2% rise in overseas sales. Recall that U.S. President Mr. Donald Trump on Wednesday unveiled a 25% tariff on imported cars and light trucks to take effect on April the 3rd. And that's it on Business News. Sports is up next.